Hello and welcome to a sudden surprise live by me, Carl Greenwood. And it is a surprise. Most of all, it's a surprise to me. I had no idea that I was doing this live, but there we are. Somehow I suddenly thought, do you know what? I haven't done a live for ages. And we've been super busy. Well, I'm not going to give excuses. I haven't done a live for ages. Doing a live now. And yes, hello. What a lot has happened. What a lot has happened. So bring your questions if you've got any questions. Well, first of all, let's check everything's working. Where's my comments? Comments. Lovely. If anybody can hear, if you'd like to put A1 into the comments, that'd be marvelous. I'll just assume that it's working otherwise. Wow. What a lot we've got to talk about. In fact, there's too much for this stream, so I'll just stick to the main points. Firstly, the big development is that we are doing rider confidence for kids. You know what kids are? They're like humans but smaller. It's something we've been asked to do for ages. I mean, people are always saying, why don't you do this for kids? Why don't you do this for kids? And eventually we thought, well, look, if you have an idea, really, you've got to go for it. So I'm just keeping an eye on the comments here to see if anyone's going, we can't hear you. I've gone to the trouble of getting my little headset mic, so I'm hoping you can hear me. If you can hear me, stick A1 in the comments, and that'd just be useful to me to know that I can be heard. So people have been saying for years and years, can you do a kids course? And finally we did a kids course with, it's not a full day course because kids haven't got a very good attention span. It's 3 hours. Probably about a third of that is directed at the parents, and then the other 2/3 is physical activities. And it's the response from the kids rider confidence course has really blown us away. I mean, we thought it'd be good. I mean, some of the kids are so small on the horses because we've only got our horses, like adults' horses, but we climb around. And, oh, thank you, Sarah, for putting that. You can hear us, lovely. And the kids climb around, and we do kind of half falling off, and really get them to move about on the horses. And I thought it'd be good, but the response has simply been fantastic. So there you go. Now we're locked into the doing kids confidence courses, which you might have seen on our page. So we can't go really below 7 years old because the horses are just too big. But 7 to 14 is fine, and then from 14 upwards you can come to the adults course. Some of the mums put the photo of their kid rearing on bullseye on the interweb, and it's gone mad. And suddenly we're inundated not only with people wanting their children to come on, but they're also saying, have you ever thought of doing this for adults? And we're like, oh, yes, we have thought of doing it for adults. We've been doing it for adults for the past 14 years, 6,000 people. Tra-la-la. So obviously there's a whole world out there of child riders and their parents who've never heard of us. So there we are. That's marvelous. Do you like my shirt? It's my got some soldiers there and some poppies. Thought I'd be topical. Yeah, marvelous. So that's the big news. The Confident Canter course and the horse archery courses have stopped now. They always stop at Guy Fawkes night because that's when the weather changes. That's when the ground gets saturated. We're quite happy to run those courses in the rain, but once the ground's saturated, well, it kind of gets slippy and sloppy and dirty. And also the horses are just a nightmare to clean, and it's no fun. It's no fun. The horses can't really get going because they're very sensible horses, and they know it's slippy, and it's just no fun at all. So we stop now, and we'll be stopped on that track until March, whenever the ground dries out, which can be anywhere from early March to late April. So that's that. You can, however, if you're feeling Christmassy and want to hassle your friend to buy you a voucher, we're going to do the Confident Canter vouchers, because the Confident Canter course has become super popular. If you don't know the Confident Canter course, we've got these trained horses that have been up our horse archery track. Our horse archery track consists of two lines of posts and string, and we run up the middle shooting arrows. But when you add it up, each of those horses has been up that track about 30,000 times over the last 10 years. So if you're nervous about canter, or just want to become more familiar, you can trust that the horses know what they're doing. They're not going to run away. And so you can just know the horses are going to start themselves, stop themselves. And you're not going to be out of control, which is one of the main things that people say their problem is. They don't like being out of control. If you've got any horsey questions, stick them in the comments. And if you haven't, I also have produced my second book. Now, it's going to look a bit weird because I've got green screen behind me, so I can get this nice picture of the stables, and the book is green, so it's going to be somewhat see-through. There we are, but that's actually a green book called The Little Book of Horse Sense by Karl Greenwood, and the tagline is Top Tips for Rider Confidence. So I'm always trying to boil down to the fundamentals as to why people aren't getting on with their horses. I'm very fortunate. I have the experience of being confident on a horse. My horse riding, if you see my videos, we do stunt riding. It's so stupid. We do shooting arrows and throwing lances and shooting guns and throwing knives and knife, lance, gun, sword, of course, and then gymnastics as well, climbing all over the horse. Half the time I'm stood on top of 2 or 4 of them. You can't say that my riding is particularly appropriate. And for films and such like, you've always got some silly costume on or some silly historical saddle. So I'm under no illusions that I'm not going to win any dressage competitions, but I do know that horses are fine, and horses are perfectly safe to do horsey things on, in the same way that aeroplanes are safe to do aeroplane things on. Is one of the things that I say when people first come on the rider confidence course. They both have their inherent risks that you need to manage, but ultimately they're safe for doing that. So I'm always trying to boil it down as to why people are nervous, because I have the experience of being nervous because I didn't learn to ride till I was 36. And I have the experience of being confident because we've done the shows and films and everything else. So I've got a really good view from both sides as an adult. I didn't grow up in the saddle since I was 3. And that's given me a real good advantage as to where along the line, from newbie scared, is this horse going to kick me, to totally confident. And so I've got an understanding of how people think. I've subsequently had tens of thousands of conversations over 15 years of doing rider confidence, and I'm a psychologist and hypnotherapist. So I tried to boil this down into 1 or 2 reasons as to why people aren't getting on with their horses. I get so many people give me all sorts of reasons as to why they can't get on with their horses. I don't have the money for the lessons. I haven't got the right instructor. I get bullied by other people on the yard. I've got conflicting advice as to how to ride my horse. Or, hang on, Sarah says, will I do vouchers for the kids' confidence course? Well, it's funny that. I think the answer is yes, because we've had the idea. but I can't think who'd buy a kid a voucher like as a Christmas present. And you don't want a bit of cardboard on Christmas Day, do you? Promises of stuff happening in the future when you're 7. But yes, we probably will. Yeah. So back to the subject. I think I have boiled it down to one central idea. I'm not going to tell you that. I will, because if I tell you that, you're just going to switch off. There we are. But in the process, I've ended up with lots and lots of little sayings. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to write all those down and make a little pamphlet. Well, it ended up being quite a thick book of 160 of my little sayings. But anyway, there we are. It's a bathroom book. It's a coffee table book. It's a book that needs to. Oh, look at it! Look at it under the green screen. The Little Book of Horse Sense, top tips for rider confidence. And I'm going to pick one now and at random, and just have a little chat as to what it says. Let's have a little look here. Brilliant. Oh, it's backwards because I've got it on mirror. No, Nobby, no, don't you dare, Nobby, no, is not an instruction. I also have that in the phrase of don't say don't and do say do. People spend their time telling their horse not to do A, B, or C. So don't you dare look at those cows, Nobby. Don't look at the cow. Ignore the cows, Nobby. Ignore the cows, Nobby. Well, even in saying ignore the cows, Nobby, you're bringing cows into the conversation. Let me find something that isn't going to get hidden by green screen that I can just wave. Told you I was a hypnotherapist. I've got Darren Brown's book here. All right, Darren Brown, Confessions of a Conjurer. I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, I want you to ignore this copy of Darren Brown's Confessions of a Conjurer. Ready? You're going to ignore it. Ready? 1. Well, obviously, I've brought your attention to it. That's what we mean by ignore the cows, Nobby. Well, your attention is then fully on the cows. So don't say don't. Do say do. What do you want? You've got to tell the horse what you do want. If I was riding a horse and I came around the corner and the bloody farmer had put cows in where there weren't cows before, and the horse's eyes start to go and his ears start to go and he grows a bit bigger, my response would be, what do I want? What do you want in that situation? Well, what I want is a well-behaved horse going up the road. So I will ask for a well-behaved horse going up the road. So round we come the corner, bloody farmers put cows in the field, and it's like, right then, horse, what I want is you are going to go from this gatepost to that elm tree in the most perfect working trot that I have ever done, with a rhythm and consistency that my instructor would wet herself to see me do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, rhythm consistency, this much on the contact, this much weight under your back legs, front legs distribution, this much top line guitar. I'm asking for what I do want, not for what I don't want. Ignore the cows, Nobby, ignore the cows, Nobby, ignore the cows, Nobby. Even worse is just saying no. No, Nobby, no, don't you dare, no. And I see this. I go out to Horsey events and you'll do it, don't you? You're just going along and you just got your coffee or whatever, and you hear someone going, no, Nobby, don't you dare, Nobby, no, Nobby, no. And you turn around and you can see this person saying, no, Nobby, don't you dare, Nobby. And you're thinking, what's going on? Well, if you're thinking what's going on, then Nobby's definitely thinking what's going on. Just saying, no, Nobby, don't you dare, Nobby, no, Nobby, no. It's not an instruction. The instruction is, do your circle, do your figure 8, do your considered, measured, rhythmical trot, extended trot from this gatepost to that tree. do the thing that you're going to do. And that requires you to train yourself, doesn't it? Because you need to have this already. It's like so that when the nerves grip, you're like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I've already got this in my head. So have a little think, have a little plan, and there we are. There we are. The little book of horse sense. Shall I do another one? Shall I do another one? One more. One more. If you're, it's all backwards to me. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. Well, that's got the camera on mirror. That was silly. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. So plenty of people say, I'm quite happy just going for a little walk through the woods every weekend, which is good. I like that. I like people being happy. The way to be comfortable trotting through the woods every weekend is to be able to do so much more. If you've trained yourself so that you can jump a small course of jumps in the arena and you can get your horse to put itself right and turn left, turn right, take the pace that you want and stop and everything else, that's quite a thing. And if you then finish off by going for a little trot around the woods, well, you're working well within your capacity. But if you're 100% at your capacity, if it's like it's really, I'm all right walking around the woods and trotting around the woods is really my limit, and I don't want to go any further than that. If you're not progressing and growing, then you'll find that you'll go around the woods and you'll be okay, but you're at 100% and you're a little bit nervy and you're on a trot around the woods, and this is as much as I want to do. And then one day something will happen. Of course, the squirrel will jump out, or the shadow will be dark, or the horse will just be in the mood for a spook, and you'll get a little spook, and that will knock your confidence. And then a few more times, and suddenly trotting around the woods starts to be a little bit more nervy than it was before. If you don't, if you want to increase your confidence, then increase your abilities. If you can, I can do a lot of things on horses. So running around the woods doesn't really affect me. But if I only did trotting around the woods, and then I'm not progressing and becoming more capable and becoming more experienced, and with more of those successful adventures in the bank from doing the more progressive things, well, fear will come to me. Fear will start coming down. And now I've been frightened 2 or 3 times trotting in the woods. I'm not progressing any further, and I might think, you know what? I think I'll just trot on this straight bit, and then I'll just walk for the rest of it because it's got a few curves in it. Well, now I'm shrinking. I've cut myself down so that now I'm not trotting around the woods. I'm just on the straight bit. And if I don't progress, then something will come and make me shrink even more. Someone's let their bloody Jack Russell off or something. I've just heard that, and now I'm frightened to go in the woods at all. If I'm growing, then those experiences start being in the bank. I become more and more capable. Now I'm jumping a little course in my arena. Now I'm jumping a little course outside my arena. And now trotting around the woods seems really simple. You're not going to stay where you are. You're either growing or you're shrinking. And it's really easy to choose. It's like, I just need to keep growing. So you may not see it immediately. I just want to trot in the woods, but grow anyway. Lovely. What else has been happening? we've got our cottages up and together, the holiday cottage, which is good. There's somebody in it now. We're very pleased about that. If you're thinking of coming on any of our courses, we're in Hemel Hempstead. We're in Hertfordshire. If you want to find out about any of our courses, it's horsebackcombat.co.uk. If you've got any questions or anything that you'd like to chat about next time I do a live, and I hope I do, because this has been quite good fun. Or if you want to, you can flick down the book yourself. Or if I put anything in the book which isn't explained, that's a good one. Then go, what does this one mean? Lovely. Stick any comments, any questions. It's been absolutely marvelous to see you all. And I'll put some links on as to where to buy the book, where to see us on our website. And I hope you all have a lovely day. Thanks for listening. I'll just turn this off. Don't know.